So fired up for the game tomorrow. Duke and Illinois inside Madison Square Garden. Blank will be the key to getting the win over Illinois in Madison Square Garden. Blank is the most underrated defender on this Duke basketball team. We're filling in the blanks on this Friday. Let's get after it here on Locked On Blue Devils.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. So glad to have you here with us today on Friday, February 21st, 2025. Locked On Blue Devils is your one-stop shop for everything going on inside the life of Duke athletics. Today, we're talking all about this game coming up tomorrow against Illinois for the Blue Devils. We're going to fill in the blanks on the season thus far, and I'm going to bring on a longtime friend of the show, Pablo Cong, is going to be back with us here today to help us go through some of those questions. If you have not done so already, please be sure to follow and subscribe to Locked On Blue Devils for free, wherever it is that you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and written review, particularly on the Apple Podcast platform. When you leave those 5-star ratings and written reviews, the algorithms love it. It helps us out a ton, and I really do appreciate all the support. We're on YouTube as well. Celebrated the 3,000 subscriber milestone a little bit earlier in the week, and we want to continue climbing to new heights. And we do that because of you guys here in the Locked On Blue Devils world. So without further ado, very excited to bring him on into the show. The aforementioned Pablo Cong's back with us. Man, March is getting closer, but before we even get into March Madness, we've got a February non-conference game. Kind of strange that this has popped up on the schedule for Duke, but I'm excited to see the game play out this weekend.
Yeah, no, it's a special time. I'm feeling like you feeling. I'm getting really excited. Definitely close to March, and we really gonna watch some. Hopefully we're gonna watch Duke raise the banners.
Yeah.
So, this non-conference game, I think it's an important one, and I think it's gonna tell us a lot about ourselves and the competition that we face.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to dive in, talk about this game against Illinois in great detail, and then also jump on another of different topics with Duke basketball. So let's dive right in, Pablo. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. We're going to fill in some blanks together. I'll turn this over to you first here. We've got this one. Blank will be the key to getting the win over Illinois in Madison Square Garden. What do you think it's going to take?
So I think it's going to be a couple of things, JJ. I can't just put one. So
yeah, sure. Go for it.
I think some of the biggest things that Duke is going to have to do is we're going to, our front court is going to have to stay out of foul trouble, first and foremost. We're down a man, be down Malik Brown, but, that's give another player to step up and, play some big minutes. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think, what Illinois will try to do is probably try to drag our big man, Kaman, up out of the range of the basket a little bit, especially with the 3-point shooting of Ivičić. So I think, he's going to have to play a smart game. I think he's going to definitely have to not foul and just, be able to stay closer to the rim if possible. If offense or defense permits. I definitely think that we're going to have to keep Will Riley in check. I think we should be okay with that. They got, a pretty good point guard in Kasparis. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not even going to try.
Leave it at that. Yep.
Yeah. So KJ and the other guard, long hair braids guy. His name slipped my mind. But
Boswell.
Anyway,
he played against
Boswell.
Yes.
Kylan Boswell, for sure. But I think also our defense and our rebounding is going to be key. Definitely a defensive. We're going to have to rebound the ball. They got a pretty big team as well. And we're just going to have to play Duke basketball.
Yeah, I think controlling the environment and playing aggressive defense certainly is going to be the key in my eyes to getting a win over Illinois. First trip up to the year for Duke at Madison Square Garden. I think both teams are going to have a good bit of representation there in terms of fan base. I think it's going to be a pro-Duke crowd. It typically is when we go and play up there, but those are kind of the things that I'm looking for when this matchup plays out. So let's go forward here. What do you think blank is why Duke's offense has improved as the season has gone along? If you were to look at one or two things, what would you say?
So I think some of the obvious things is I think our star power with Cooper, Con, Tyrese stepping up. But I think, just having stars like that and the gravity that they have, is able to open the floor up a little bit more. And these guys, elite one-on-one players. So I think that's helped a lot. And I think the emergence of Tyrese Proctor has really helped us.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are, I think, some of the keys and some of the reasons why, our offense is really clicking right now.
Particularly these last 5 or 6 games, Proctor has taken it to a whole nother level. I think in general, the reason that it's improved so much as the season has gone along, I hate to give him all the flowers in the world, but that's what we got to do. I'm looking at Cooper Flagg first and foremost. I mean, I'm going back to early on in the season, games against teams like Incarnate Word and George Mason and some of the kind of rockier games offensively that Duke had. That's when we're looking at a pre-18-year-old Cooper Flagg. I don't want to just throw the birthday out there as being the big difference, but that's kind of the one metric you can look at as switch being flipped. He wasn't making as many shots from the outside. He wasn't as assertive at times offensively. As he started to do that, as he's become more confident, his shots have been falling because of that. And I think that's a big reason why this offense has begun to click. That's kind of what I'm seeing, Pablo, is that or Cooper's kind of gotten into a rhythm. The rest of the offense has done so as well. Because early on, the defense was always there, but we did have some of those non-conference games where you're like, oh my goodness, how do we score the basketball?
Yeah, I think, leaders lead, and he's been special when he's needed to be special. So I think, the team is just, he's just picking the team up, put them on his back, and just following his lead. And, we're able to just do some good things. And it's been positive for Duke so far.
It's been awesome to watch for Duke, and hopefully that is something that continues. Cooper Flagg, a big reason why the offense has improved. Cooper Flagg, a guy that we're going to talk about a whole lot throughout the course of the show here today. That's a little teaser as we'll step aside and take our first break here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. All right, that's right. Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. FanDuel is the best place to go and get in on the NBA action. No better place. It's America's #1 sports book. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you could stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live stats into a same-game parlay. Last night was awesome. They're back from the All-Star break. Games happening all over the place. You can get playoff future odds and so much more with our friends over at FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA and a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, here we are. We're filling in the blanks. Duke plays Illinois tomorrow from inside Madison Square Garden. I've got Pablo Cong here with us. Something we've been following all season long has been Cooper Flagg's race for the National Player of the Year award. And so a lot of folks sent us emails, lockedonbluedevils@gmail.com, or in comments below, kind of contributing to these fill in the blanks. And people are asking, Cooper Flagg needs to do blank to win National Player of the Year. What do you think this is, Pablo?
So for him to win National Player of the Year, I think Cooper Flagg just needs to keep doing what he's been doing, just being Cooper Flagg, just being special on both sides of the ball, being a great teammate, great kid, great student, and great human being at Duke. And I think, his on-court play, it just speaks for itself. You know what I mean? He's not somebody that's just out there and, it's a good game, a bad game, it's back and forth. I mean, he's just been pretty much dominant, all the way through. He's had a couple rough games here and there, but it seems like I said previously, when he needs to be special, he's been special. So if he keeps doing that and they keep winning, I mean, he's going to lock it up.
Without a doubt. I mean, Johni Broome's the only other guy that's in contention for this. For me, when I'm looking at this, if Cooper Flagg needs to do something, I think it is still scoring at a really high clip. I think the 42-point game that he had against Notre Dame was so impressive, setting the ACC freshman scoring record. If he's able to go out and put together another highlight, even tomorrow being the day that possibly it happens, where he goes and he gets you 30, 35 in a ball game like that, I think that'll really do him some good. You look at Johni Broome, what's to his advantage in this race is just how good the SEC has been this year. You can't hold that against Cooper Flagg that he's not in the SEC and that Duke's playing inferior ACC teams. It's not Cooper's fault that that's the case. But I look at kind of the scoring numbers of these two guys alone. Johni Broome only has 2 games this entire season where he scored 25 or more points, 26 and then 30 against North Alabama were his high scoring outputs for his team so far this season. I think if Cooper can continue putting together some crazy scoring numbers, that'll really start to sway more things in his favor.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I definitely think he definitely needs to keep scoring at the clip that he's scoring at. I think that's good because what is he averaging on the season? About 18 right now?
Yeah, 19.7. 19.7.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. And that's the thing I think what's going to help him is that he's not only, what I mean, he's not only averaging 19, but he's a freshman. I mean, he came in from high school. So I think all that is going to be looked at when they, start to tally all the votes and maybe they take some other things into consideration. I don't know, but as long as he's doing what he's doing, man, I think he's fine. Even if he stays at the 19-point range, JJ, and they're winning and they make some real noise, I think he could do it for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of back and forth when you look at all their stats, comparing the two. Cooper Flagg, more points. Janai Broome, more rebounds. Cooper Flagg, more assists. Janai Broome, more blocks. It's crazy how close this award is. A lot of people are comparing it to the year that J.J. Redick and Adam Morrison were going back and forth as to who would finally be the National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So in my eyes, I think if Flagg can put together some more crazy scoring numbers, he's got 5 games to his name scoring 25 or more on the season. I think that'll really benefit what he's trying to do in winning that award. All right, let's move on. Filling in the blanks here today. Let us know in the comments down below on YouTube how you would answer some of these questions as well. Duke will be a 1 seed if they do blank the rest of the season.
So when you say 1 seed, JJ, are you talking about number 1 overall?
Just a 1 seed. Just a 1 seed, I think is how this was.
I mean, I think they just keep doing what they've been doing and just keep winning games. If they don't drop any more games and don't lose, some heartbreak type game or have a letdown, I think they got the number 1 seed locked up, to be honest with you. I've seen it like pretty much all over the internet and just different outlets and different sites that, they're pretty much a 1 seed already. So if they keep doing what they've been doing, I think it's a lock for them to be a 1 seed. Now, if you talk about 1 overall, I think they're going to need Auburn to lose about 1 or 2 games, if they're going to be number 1 overall team, and they're going to have to win everything else out. So
for sure. Yeah. I look at this Duke team. They're in a really good spot right now. There are 3 1 seeds out of the SEC. The 4th would be Duke with what they're doing. And then right now in 5th is Tennessee. So many SEC teams at the top. You would hope in these last 5 or 6 games for everybody prior to the conference tournaments that there can be a few more casualties within the SEC because they're beating up on one another. But Duke definitely needs to take care of their own business, control what they can control. And I think this team's going to be in a good spot with what they're looking to do in terms of getting that 1 seed because, if you are Duke, you do have a little bit of breathing room, only having 1 conference loss right now. But again, given the state of your league and given the fact that Duke's not playing very many top 40 teams in KenPom, that's really hurting them in some of the resume and metric size, which just it sucks. It's an unfortunate reality that, again, like we can't control how bad the rest of the ACC is. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it's not on Duke. So they just got to keep doing what they're doing, and I think they'll be fine.
Okay, let's go on to this next one. Blank has the best chance to upset the Blue Devils down the stretch. When you start to look at the schedule, Duke is actually favored in every single game left on their schedule this year. But if there was somebody, who would you give it to?
If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be North Carolina. What I mean? That's his period. If they play like North Carolina's capable of playing, like they played, like when North Carolina played against like a team like Florida, they lost that game, but I mean, they turned it on in the second half. If they do that, I think they're the team that, can upset Duke. I don't see it happening because I think Duke is really locked in right now and they're wired to win and they're a really connected group. So, but if that does happen, I definitely wouldn't be surprised, because it's Duke and North Carolina, anything can happen.
It's the state of the rivalry. Yeah. To your point, exactly. I mean, the fact that North Carolina hasn't played so well this season does not matter. Every time we talk about the game, it always delivers. That's what Jay Billis continued to talk about. We're glad that the first time we played them this year, it ended up being a wire-to-wire victory for Duke and a 17-point win inside Cameron. But I think it's going to be much closer this time around. Looking at the rest of the league and the games that Duke has on their schedule, the fact that Duke is favored, I guess you could call it an upset if they were to lose any of them. But even losing a game tomorrow against Illinois, I don't really view that as an upset, considering this is one of the big tests that Duke has had on the season so far. I don't know. I think it will be North Carolina, though, that kind of gives them the best chance to get ramped up for the rivalry, amped up, and be ready to go from there. So we're agreeing on the Tar Heels then.
Oh, yeah, definitely agree with you on that.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll take one more break here on the show today. And then on the other side of this timeout, we'll start to do a few more fill in the blanks and get you more prepared for the game coming up against Illinois tomorrow. This is Locked On Blue Devils. All right, we're taking a look at now that the Locked On Blue Devils is your first listen and first watch each and every day. Thank you so much for making that the case. Make sure now you go check out the Locked On ACC podcast as Alex Dono and Kenton Gibbs keep it real and bring you the truth about where your favorite ACC team stands within the conference. Each and every Thursday, we've got the Locked On ACC squad that is always put within your feed here at Locked On Blue Devils. And we banter back and forth about the state of the conference. A really fun show that you need to go check out. Find Locked On ACC on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Also go and check out Locked On Sports Today. It's our daily show within the network that covers all of the biggest stories across the world of sports each and every day. So go and check it out. Locked On Sports Today, wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Back with us, here's our pal Pablo Cong. He's here talking Duke basketball with me on the program today. And we're starting to fill in some blanks. So we were just talking about North Carolina being the team that's got the best chance to upset the Blue Devils down the stretch. Next one that was sent to us, blank, is the team most likely to keep Duke from winning a national title. I feel like we'll probably agree with an answer here, but who do you think is that team that's most likely to keep Duke from winning it all?
So are we talking about like when they get into bracket play and all that?
Yes.
So I don't know, like I don't even know who they're going to be paired with. So I'm really not sure. I haven't really seen too many of the brackets.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the state of college basketball. I'd say Auburn. Auburn is the direction that I'm going with.
Yeah.
They're a juggernaut. The way they play offensively. Yeah. I know that Duke won the head-to-head matchup. I still like Duke to get the job done once again. But if we're just looking at hoops right now, man, this Auburn team, man, so much experience too, Pablo.
Yeah, Auburn is good. Auburn is definitely good. And I think it will take a team like that's the only type of team I feel like that can really beat Duke. You know what I mean? Even though, like I said, it's clear that we already beat them, but that is what it is. That game happened. It's over with. You know what I mean? We match up again, it could be a totally different story. So I just think that like just the way that they're built, they're built for a national champion. They're a lot older, first and foremost. So they're really, really deep. They got really good bigs. They got really good guards. So I say like a team like Auburn and a team like Florida will definitely give Duke some problems. Yeah,
I feel like if it's physicality typically wins in March, and that's something that you worry about. Not that this Duke team is soft by any means or anything like that, but then also experience. Auburn is a team that has 10 seniors on their roster, 10 of them. It's crazy. It's going to be a way different team down on the plains for Bruce Pearl when he gets set for next year, but that's an Auburn problem, given how old they are. But I think that would be the team that's most likely to keep Duke from winning a national title is kind of the direction I'm going there. All right, here's our next one today. We've got blank is the most underrated defender on the team. What do you think for this one, Pablo?
So I kind of pinpoint two guys. So
I
would say, so the first one I would talk about is Con Knippel. I think Con Knippel has done a fabulous job on defense. He's been guarding elite guards all season, and he's doing a good job of cutting them off, beating them to the spot. Using his strength and his acumen and IQ to just play defense and be in the right spot. So he's really been a pleasant surprise on defense, and especially because I know nobody really thought that he can guard. They didn't really think of him as a defender. So he's been a pleasant surprise, and everybody, I like what he's doing. And the other guy I would say is when he's playing, I think Isaiah Evans has been pretty good.
Made such good progress for sure. Yeah,
such good progress. And I think, his body type and stuff, all his measurements really help him out, with the length and, foot speed and everything. So, and I think they're both doing a good job, man. They're both showing, what they're not known for, good foot speed and just being able to guard, man. And I like that they've been able to just stop guards and, they have, obviously they have good team defense, so they have a lot of help out there, but they've been able to prove that they can hold their own on the defense.
Yeah. I was curious what direction you would go with this question, and I'm glad that you went that way because I think I agree. I think when you look at this and we're talking about the most underrated defenders on the team, it's pretty obvious if we're not talking about somebody, but they keep playing a ton, then there must be something there, right? Like we're not talking about Con Knippel as this good defender because he's terrible. Because if he was terrible, he wouldn't be playing. I mean, this is still a guy that's in a world where he's leading the team in minutes. I mean, he plays so much for this Duke team, and yet we never talk about Con Knippel's defense.
Yeah, Yeah, that's the funny part, but that's how it is. But one thing we do know, just like you said though, if you're not playing defense, you're not going to play. Not with John
Yeah.
Shire. You know what I mean? So it's pretty obvious and evident that he's doing a good job on the defensive end. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I just want him to continue to keep doing what he's doing, and I think we're going to be A-OK.
But then also to talk about underrated defenders, the fact that you bring up somebody like Isaiah Evans, I think that's big because the conversation early was, hey, this guy's not on the floor. We're wanting him to take these next steps defensively. And now publicly, you're talking about John Shire saying, hey, the three-point shots are great, but watch what this guy's doing on the defensive end of the floor now. I mean, he had 2 blocks in the game against Virginia earlier in the week. He's really given it his all. And to your point, using his size very well. We know what Flagg can do. We know what Common Malawach can do. Tyrese Proctor has always been an amazing defender, and it's been talked about since he's been a Duke basketball player. We're always talking about Sion James' size and strength and that sort of thing. So I think it comes down to Knipple and Evans. And, yeah, a lot of flowers over to Isaiah Evans for the improvements he's made on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I think just for him to have the wherewithal and the overall attitude to just keep it going, it's been big for him, you know what I mean? And when he's playing well and it's paying off, you can see the light on him, and it's like, okay, he's happy, he's doing this thing, but he's just he's got the right mindset, I mean, he wants to go out there and work hard. He doesn't want anything given to him. He wants to go out there and work hard, and that's what he's been doing. And it's definitely paying off, man. And you see it on the defensive end, I mean, just with his overall effort and skill on the defensive end. And I just want him to keep doing what he's doing. And if he's able to do that, that's going to be huge for Duke because, nightly, all these guys aren't going to play good every single night. So we got a guy like that who I think is the biggest X factor in college basketball coming off the bench and who could score like he could score, but also can play defense. I think that's so big for Duke, man. And I think it's a recipe for success. And I'm looking forward to this national championship that we're going to raise the banner on for after this year.
It's on 6. We keep promoting it, but let's bring that 6th championship back to Durham. Let's get the first one under head coach John Shire. So to kind of wrap it up, bringing it back full circle here today, tomorrow Duke plays Illinois. Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox, a national TV audience against an Illinois team. Pablo, they've been battling with some sickness and illness throughout the past few weeks, which has been tough for Seymour as Johnson just broke his wrist for him. But like we talked about at the top of today's show, still a really experienced squad. They've been tested a couple of times. The Big Ten's been competitive throughout the course of the year. And this is going to be a fun test for Duke, another neutral site setting. And this is the type of team that Duke will see in NCAA tournament games. The nice thing about this, if you lose, the season goes on. And I know people always talk about, I hope we don't have to wait until the NCAA tournament to be tested, because then if we lose, the whole thing's over. Here's a prime opportunity to kind of really get yourself ready for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, what John Shire was able to do with the schedule and scheduling this game is going to do magnificent things for Duke. And it's really going to show you who Duke is, playing because they've been, pretty much running over teams. And now you're going to play a team that's really going to fight you back and really come out there to win. And that's capable of winning. So I think that's going to be huge for Duke. Underwood and his staff he's got an elite staff over there. He's got a couple elite players over there, and they got a connected group as well in an older group. So it's going to be a good test for Duke. And right before March, man, I think that's good stuff, man. And I'm excited. I'll actually be in New York. I won't be going to that game, I don't think, so far, but I'm still going to try. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. I fly out tomorrow, and hopefully I can, parachute into the Garden or something. So
make it happen. It's going to be a great game. Excited to see these two teams come together. Pablo, it's always so great to see you here with us on Locked On Blue Devils. Tell us about all the work you do with the 5 Point Play fam, Acumen Scout. How can people support you? Give us kind of a rundown.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Coach P. Cong, and also I run the Acumen Scouting Group account on Twitter. You can go to my website, Acumen Scouting Group, and you can also check me out on the 5 Point Play podcast. We do different things with 4 other guys, man. Shout out to all of my 5 Point fam. I appreciate everybody for supporting me and just checking all my workout. We do a lot of writing, scouting, and all that other stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate you all.
Absolutely. All right, Pablo, we'll do this again soon. Okay, my friend?
Yes, sir, my brother. You have a good day, JJ.
That's Pablo Cong. He's joining us here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. Excited to see this game play out tomorrow. Duke and Illinois, the perfect non-conference test that we're looking for to see these two teams come together. That's going to do it for our show here today. Please be sure to leave us a 5-star rating and written review on the Apple Podcast platform. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, as your support means so much to us here in the Locked On Blue Devils world. Follow us on X at LO_Blue Devils, and I'm there as well at _JJ_Jackson_. As always, go Duke. I'll talk to you on Monday. My name is JJ Jackson. Thank you and good day.